First contact gone wrong. The starship Intrepid hung in the inky void of space, its sleek hull gleaming under the light of an alien sun. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the viewscreen before her. The tension in the air was palpable as the crew awaited their first encounter with an extraterrestrial civilization. Status report. Elena barked, her voice steady despite the butterflies in her stomach. Lieutenant Commander Akira Tanaka, the ship's science officer, responded without taking his eyes off his console. The alien vessel is maintaining its position, Captain. No signs of aggression, but no attempt at communication either. Elena nodded, her mind racing through the countless first contact scenarios they had drilled during their training. None of them seemed adequate now that they faced the real thing. Open a channel, wideband. Let's see if we can make some friends. As the communications officer worked to establish contact, Elena couldn't help but marvel at the alien ship. It was unlike anything humanity had ever conceived. A massive crystalline structure that seemed to pulse with an inner light. Beautiful, yes, but also terrifying in its otherness. Suddenly, the view screen flickered to life, revealing a being that defied easy description. It appeared to be a mass of shimmering tentacles surrounding a central core that pulsed with bioluminescence. When it spoke, the universal translator struggled to keep up. Greetings, carbon-based life forms. We are the Sixlerans. Your presence in our space is unexpected. Elena stepped forward, her chin held high. I am Captain Elena Rodriguez of the Earth ship Intrepid. We come in peace, seeking friendship and knowledge. The alien's tentacles writhed in what Elena hoped was a gesture of consideration rather than aggression. Peace, an interesting concept. We have observed your kind from afar. You are volatile, unpredictable. Elena felt a chill run down her spine. They had been washed. For how long? I assure you, we mean no harm. We're explorers, scientists, and warriors, the Zixlaren interrupted. We have seen your conflicts, your wars. You bring destruction wherever you go. The accusation stung, but Elena knew she couldn't deny humanity's violent history. We've learned from our past, she countered. We've grown, evolved. Give us a chance to prove ourselves. The alien seemed to consider this for a moment. Perhaps a test, then, to prove your worth and peaceful intentions. Before Elena could respond, alarms blared across the bridge. Akira's voice cut through the chaos. Captain, they're charging weapons. Elena's mind raced. This wasn't how first contact was supposed to go. Shields up. Evasive maneuvers. The Intrepid lurched as it narrowly avoided the first salvo from the Sixleran ship. Crystalline projectiles that seemed to bend the very fabric of space streaked past them, missing by mere meters. Return fire. The tactical officer asked, his finger hovering over the weapon's controls. Elena hesitated. She knew that how they responded now could set the tone for humanity's place in the galactic community. Negative. Defensive measures only. We need to show them we're not the aggressors they think we are. As if in response to her decision, another barrage of alien weaponry slammed into the Intrepid's shields. The ship shuddered, and damage reports flooded in from all decks. Shields at 60% and falling. Akira reported, his voice tight with tension. We can't take much more of this, Captain. Elena gritted her teeth. They needed a solution, and fast. Her eyes darted around the bridge, taking in the determined faces of her crew. That's when inspiration struck. Akira, what's the composition of those crystalline projectiles they're firing at us? The science officer's fingers flew over his console. Complex silicate structures, Captain. Highly energized, almost like living crystals. A plan began to form in Elena's mind. It was crazy, risky, and exactly the kind of thing that might just work. Can we modulate our shields to resonate at the same frequency as those crystals? Akira's eyes widened as he caught on to her idea. Theoretically, yes, but, Captain, that would be incredibly dangerous. we'd essentially be turning our shields into a giant tuning fork. "Do it," Elena commanded, "and prepare to divert all power to the shields on my mark." As the crew scrambled to implement her orders, Elena opened a channel to the Zixlaren ship. "This is Captain Rodriguez. We've made no aggressive moves against you, yet you attack us. Is this how you treat all new species you encounter?" The alien's response was cold. "You have not yet proven yourselves worthy of existence in our galaxy. This is merely the first trial." Elena's eyes narrowed. "Well then, let me show you how humans pass trials." With a nod to Akira, she gave the order. Now, the intrepid shields flared to life with renewed intensity, pulsing with energy that matched the frequency of the incoming Zixlaren weapons. As the next volley struck, something incredible happened. Instead of impacting the shields, the crystalline projectiles seemed to dance around the ship, drawn into a complex orbital pattern. On the view screen, the Zixlaren's tentacles writhed in what Elena could only interpret as surprise. What is this?" Elena allowed herself a small smile. "This, my alien friend, is human ingenuity. We've turned your weapons into a pretty light show. Now, can we talk like civilized beings, or do you want to keep playing with crystals?" There was a long pause during which Elena held her breath. Finally, the Zixlaren spoke. "Impressive. Unconventional. Perhaps we have misjudged you. That's what we've been trying to tell you," Elena said, relief evident in her voice. "Now how about we start over? Hi, we're humans. We like making friends, solving problems, and occasionally turning deadly weapons into impromptu art installations. Want to chat?" As the tension on the bridge slowly dissipated, Elena couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. They had faced their first extraterrestrial challenge and emerged victorious, not through superior firepower, but through quick thinking and a uniquely human approach to problem solving. The Zixlaren's next words filled her with hope for the future. "Perhaps there is much we can learn from each other, humans. Your methods are unexpected, but effective. We would be interested in further dialogue." Elena grinned, "Glad to hear it, and just wait until you see what we can do when we're actually trying to impress you." As the two ships began their tentative diplomatic dance, Elena knew that this was just the beginning. Humanity had taken its first steps onto the galactic stage, and they had done so in true human fashion, with a mix of ingenuity, adaptability, and just a touch of audacity. The universe, it seemed, had better prepare itself. The humans had arrived, and they were ready to shake things up. The galactic stage. 6 months after the Intrepids encountered with the Zixlarans, humanity found itself thrust onto the galactic stage. The Grand Galactic Council, a loose federation of advanced species, had grudgingly extended an invitation to Earth to send representatives. Captain Elena Rodriguez, now hailed as a hero of first contact, led the human delegation. As Elena stepped into the vast chamber of the council, she felt a mix of awe and determination. The room was a marvel of alien architecture, with soaring crystalline spires and gravity-defying platforms. Representatives from a dizzying array of species filled the space, their forms as varied as the stars themselves. "Humans," a booming voice echoed through the chamber. "You stand before the Grand Galactic Council. Your species is young, volatile. Many here question the wisdom of your inclusion. Convince us of your worth." Elena took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. "Esteemed members of the Council, we come before you not to prove our worth, but to offer our partnership. Humanity may be young, but we bring with us a unique perspective and an unparalleled drive to innovate and adapt." Murmurs rippled through the assembled aliens. A being that appeared to be made of living smoke floated forward. "Pretty words, human, but your species has a history of conflict and destruction. How can we trust you won't bring chaos to our carefully balanced galaxy?" Before Elena could respond, alarms blared throughout the chamber. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing a massive asteroid hurtling towards a nearby inhabited planet. By the cosmic winds, a crystalline being chimed, its voice tinkling like glass. The defense systems on Silox Prime have failed. Impact in 30 minutes. Millions will perish. The council erupted into chaos. Species blamed each other for the failure, arguing over evacuation protocols and debating the ethics of intervention. Elena watched in disbelief as precious minutes ticked by with no action taken. "Enough," she shouted, her voice cutting through the din. The chamber fell silent, all eyes turning to the human. "While you argue, lives are at stake. We need to act now." A towering insectoid alien clicked its mandibles skeptically. "And what do you propose, human? Our fastest ships cannot reach Xylox Prime in time." Elena's mind raced, drawing on everything she knew about the technology she'd seen since joining the galactic community. "We don't need to reach the planet. We need to reach the asteroid." She turned to her team. "Dr. Tanaka, that research you were telling me about on your gravity manipulation experiments, could it work on a large scale?" Akira's eyes widened as he caught on to her plan. "Theoretically, yes, but we've never attempted anything of this magnitude. No time like the present." Elena grinned. She addressed the council again. "We need your largest ship with the strongest power source you have. We're going to create a gravity well to divert that asteroid." The council members exchanged bewildered looks, the smoky being swirled in agitation. "Preposterous. Such a thing has never been done." "Exactly," Elena said, her eyes gleaming with determination. "That's why it might just work. Now, are you going to help us save millions of lives, or are you going to stand there and watch a planet die?" Faced with Elena's conviction and the imminent disaster, the council reluctantly agreed. Within minutes, Elena and her team were aboard the Celestial Hammer, the largest ship in the council's fleet. As they raced towards the asteroid, Dr. Tanaka and a hastily assembled team of alien scientists worked feverishly to modify the ship's power systems. "This is insane," Akira muttered as he recalibrated a crystal matrix. "We're essentially trying to create a miniature black hole." Elena placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "If anyone can do it, it's you, Akira. Humanity's counting on us. Hell, the whole galaxy is watching." As they approached the asteroid, tension on the bridge reached a fever pitch. The massive rock loomed in the view screen, a harbinger of destruction. "Gravity well generator online," Akira reported, his voice tight with stress. "But Captain, the power requirements are off the charts. We'll burn out the ship's core in minutes." Elena nodded grimly. "Then we'd better make those minutes count. All power to the gravity well. Let's show the galaxy what humanity can do." With a command from Elena, the Celestial Hammer unleashed its full might. A beam of concentrated energy lanced out, striking the asteroid. For a heart-stopping moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly but surely, the massive rock began to curve away from its collision course. Cheers erupted on the bridge as the asteroid's trajectory shifted. But their celebration was short-lived. Warning klaxons blared as the ship's systems began to overload. "Core temperature critical." An alien engineer shouted, "We need to shut it down." Elena gritted her teeth. "Not yet, just a little more." The ship shuddered and groaned, pushed to its absolute limits. On the view screen, they watched as the asteroid swung wide, missing Xylox Prime by a hair's breadth. As soon as it was clear, Elena gave the order to cut power. The Celestial Hammer went dark, drifting in space as emergency systems kicked in. But they had done it. Xylox Prime was saved. As they limped back to the council chambers, Elena and her team were met with a mix of awe and disbelief. The smoky beam from earlier approach, its form rippling with what Elena hoped was approval. "Incredible," it said, its voice a whisper on the wind. "You risked everything on an untested theory, pushed technology beyond its limits, and saved millions of lives. Perhaps we have underestimated humanity." Elena smiled tiredly. "That's kind of our thing. We see impossible odds, and instead of backing down, we think, hey, that looks like a fun challenge. The insectoid alien stepped forward, its compound eyes gleaming. The Council has conferred, Captain Rodriguez. In light of your actions today, we extend a formal invitation to humanity to join the Grand Galactic Council as full members. A cheer went up from the human delegation. Alina felt a swell of pride as she accepted the invitation. On behalf of Earth and all of humanity, we are honored to accept. We look forward to working alongside you all as we explore the wonders of our galaxy together. As the chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien congratulations, Alina caught Akira's eye. They shared a knowing smile. This was just the beginning. Humanity had proven its worth on the galactic stage, not through military might or advanced technology, but through quick thinking, adaptability, and a willingness to take risks that other species deemed insane. The galaxy had better buckle up. With humanity joining the ranks of spacefaring civilizations, things were about to get a whole lot more interesting. The hive mind threat. 2 years had passed since humanity joined the Grand Galactic Council. In that time, Earth had become a hub of interstellar commerce and cultural exchange. Alien technology merged with human ingenuity, propelling both to new heights. But as humanity reached for the stars, a shadow loomed on the horizon. Admiral Elena Rodriguez, newly promoted and commanding Earth's first intergalactic fleet, stood aboard the bridge of the ESS Prometheus. The ship's quantum sensors painted a grim picture on the main view screen. "It's confirmed, Admiral," Captain Akira Tanaka reported, his face grim. "The Vorthax hive has consumed another system. That's the third one this month." Elena's jaw tightened. The Vorthax were unlike any threat the galaxy had faced before, a collective consciousness that assimilated entire planets, turning them into biomechanical hubs for its ever-expanding network. Conventional weapons prove useless against their adaptive defenses. The Council is assembling an emergency session, a holographic projection of a Zix-Laren diplomat announced. "Admiral Rodriguez, your presence is requested. The situation has become dire." Hours later, Elena found herself once again in the Grand Council chamber. The atmosphere was tense, fear palpable among the assembled species. The Arch-Cognitor, a being of pure energy and the oldest member of the Council, spoke first. "The Vorthax advance unchecked. Our combined fleets have failed to even slow their progress. If a solution is not found soon, our civilization faces extinction." Murmurs of despair rippled through the chamber. Elena listened as species after species proposed plans, each shot down as quickly as they were suggested. Superweapons, mass evacuations, even a galaxy-wide quarantine. Nothing seemed feasible against the relentless Vorthax. As the arguments grew heated, Elena's mind raced. There had to be a solution, something they weren't seeing. Her eyes wandered to the holographic display of the Vorthax's spread, its tendrils reaching across star systems like a viral infection. Suddenly, an idea struck her, crazy, dangerous, and utterly human. What if, Elena began, her voice cutting through the chaos, instead of trying to destroy the Vorthax, we give them exactly what they want? The chamber fell silent, all eyes turning to the human admiral. "Explain," the Arch-Cognitor prompted, a hint of curiosity in its resonant voice. Elena stepped forward, her heart pounding. "The Vorthax operate on a hive mind, right? They assimilate and adapt. But what if we could use that against them? What if we could introduce something into their network that would cause it to, well, crash?" A Kulari scientist, his tentacles writhing in agitation, spoke up. "Impossible. The Vorthax's adaptive algorithms are beyond anything we've ever encountered. They would isolate and eliminate any foreign element within nanoseconds." "Not if it's something they desperately want," Elena countered. She turned to her old friend and colleague. "Dr. Tanaka, remember that quantum entanglement experiment we were working on before all this started? The one that kept collapsing because the data was too complex." Akira's eyes widened as he caught on. You can't be serious, Alina. That data nearly fried our most advanced AI. It would be like trying to stuff the entire internet into a calculator. Exactly, Alina grinned. The Vorthax want information, knowledge. They crave it. What if we gave them a dataset so massive, so complex that even their vast network couldn't process it? The council chamber erupted into a flurry of discussions. Some dismissed the idea outright, while others saw a glimmer of hope. The Arch-Cognitor's form pulsed thoughtfully. An intriguing proposal, Admiral. But how would you deliver such a payload? The Vorthax would surely detect any approaching vessel. Alina's expression turned grim. We'd have to let them capture one of our ships. A volunteer crew, knowing they might not come back. Silence fell over the chamber as the implications sank in. I'll do it, Akira said, stepping forward. I know the dataset better than anyone. I can make sure it's delivered. Alina felt a surge of pride and fear for her friend. Akira, you don't have to. He cut her off with a smile. Come on, Alina. You can't have all the fun. Besides, someone needs to make sure this crazy human plan of yours actually works. The next few days were a whirlwind of preparation. The council, desperate for any solution, threw its full support behind the plan. The ESS Prometheus was outfitted with a specially designed quantum core capable of housing the mind-bending dataset that they hoped would be the Vorthax's undoing. As the ship prepared to depart, Alina stood with Akira in the launch bay. You know, when we joined Starfleet, I never imagined we'd be trying to give an alien hive mind a cosmic headache, she said, attempting to lighten the mood. Akira chuckled. Just another day at the office for humanity, right? Don't worry, Alina. We'll make it back. We always do. With a final salute, Akira boarded the Prometheus. Alina watched as the ship disappeared into the starry void, carrying with it the hopes of the entire galaxy. Days passed with no word. The council chambers were eerily quiet as representatives from across the galaxy waited for news. Then, just as hope began to fade, the sensors lit up. We're detecting massive energy fluctuations from the Vorthax systems, a technician announced, his voice filled with disbelief. Their network, it's collapsing. On the main view screen, they watched as the Vorthax's vast empire began to crumble. Assimilated planets broke free, the hive mind's control shattered by the overwhelming influx of data. Cheers erupted throughout the chamber. Species that had been at odds for millennia embraced, united in their relief. But Alina's eyes remained fixed on the screen, searching for any sign of the Prometheus. Hours later, as the council began to discuss plans for helping the liberated planets, a small blip appeared on the long-range sensors. The Prometheus, battered but intact, limped into view. Alina rushed to the communication panel. Prometheus, this is Admiral Rodriguez. Akira, do you copy? For a heart-stopping moment, there was only static. Then, Akira's tired but triumphant voice came through. Admiral, the package has been delivered. And let me tell you, the Vorthax have one hell of a headache. Laughter and applause filled the chamber. The Arch-Cognitor's form glowed brightly as it addressed Alina. Admiral Rodriguez, once again, humanity has demonstrated its unique creativity in the face of overwhelming odds. The galaxy owes you a debt that can never be repaid. Alina smiled, relief and pride washing over her. We're just happy to help. Though next time, maybe we could solve a galactic crisis without giving an alien hive mind the equivalent of a blue screen of death. As the council broke into discussions about the implications of their victory, Alina couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement for what the future held. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge yet and emerged victorious, not through brute force, but through out-of-the-box thinking and a willingness to take risks that other species wouldn't dare. The galaxy was vast and full of wonders, but also dangers beyond imagination. But with human ingenuity and the combined strengths of their alien allies, Alina knew they were ready to face whatever the universe threw at them next. After all, That's what humans do best. Turn the impossible into just another problem to solve, preferably with a solution that leaves the rest of the galaxy scratching their heads and wondering, how in the cosmos did they come up with that? Diplomatic chaos. In the wake of the Vorthax crisis, the political landscape of the galaxy shifted dramatically. Humanity's unorthodox solution had saved countless lives, but it also thrust Earth into a spotlight it wasn't entirely prepared for. As a result, Admiral Elena Rodriguez found herself in a new role: Earth's first galactic ambassador. The Great Conclave, a once-in-a-millennium gathering of all spacefaring species, was set to begin. Held on the neutral world of Harmonium, it promised to reshape galactic politics for generations to come. Elena stood on the balcony of the Earth Embassy, watching as ships from 1,000 worlds filled the sky. Nervous? A familiar voice asked. Elena turned to see Dr. Akira Tanaka, now her chief scientific advisor, approach with a smile. Terrified, Elena admitted. Fighting alien hive minds? No problem. But politics? I'd rather face a supernova. Akira chuckled. Just think of it as another impossible problem to solve. That's our specialty, after all. As they made their way to the opening ceremony, Elena couldn't shake the feeling that they were walking into a minefield. The Grand Hall of the Conclave was a marvel of alien architecture, with gravity-defying spires and holographic displays that seemed to bend reality itself. The Arch-Cognitor, acting as the neutral mediator, called the conclave to order. Esteemed representatives, we gather in a time of great change. The old alliances have crumbled, and new ones must be forged. Let us begin with the pressing matter of resource allocation in the liberated Vorthax systems. What followed was a political firestorm. Species that had been allies for eons now found themselves at odds. The Zixlarans argued for a hands-off approach, allowing the freed worlds to develop on their own. The Quilleri insisted on establishing protectorates to guide their recovery. And the Mercian, a feline species known for their mercantile prowess, saw an opportunity for new trade routes and economic expansion. Elena listened, her mind racing to keep up with the complex web of alliances and rivalries. When it came time for Earth to speak, she took a deep breath and stepped forward. Fellow representatives, she began, Earth proposes a collaborative effort. Instead of dividing these systems among ourselves, why not pool our resources? We could establish a joint task force, with experts from all our worlds working together to help these planets rebuild. The chamber erupted into a cacophony of alien languages. Some species nodded in approval, while others chittered in disagreement. The Mercian representative, a sleek feline with silver fur, purred sarcastically. How charmingly naive. The humans would have us all hold hands and sing songs while opportunity slips through our claws. Elena felt her temper flare, but she held it in check. This was precisely the kind of diplomatic tightrope she'd been dreading. But then, inspiration struck. A very human inspiration. You're right, she said, surprising the Mercian. It is naive to think we can all work together seamlessly. So let's make it interesting. A murmur ran through the crowd as Elena continued. I propose a challenge. Each of our species sends a team to one of the liberated worlds. We have one standard galactic year to help that world rebuild and thrive. At the end of the year, we compare results. The team that's made the most progress gets priority in future collaborative efforts. The hall fell silent for a moment before erupting into excited discussions. The Quilleri representative waved a tentacle. And how would we measure this progress? Technological advancement, economic growth. Why not let the inhabitants of these worlds decide? Elena suggested. After all, it's their future we're shaping. They can vote on which team has helped them the most. The Arch-Cognitor's form pulsed with what Elena hoped was approval. An innovative proposal, Ambassador Rodriguez. It appeals to our cooperative nature while satisfying the competitive instincts of many species here. All in favor. To Elena's surprise, a majority of the representatives signaled their agreement. As the details of the Galactic Reconstruction Challenge were hammered out, Alina felt a small sense of victory, but her relief was short-lived. The Mercian representative approached, teeth gleaming in what might have been a smile or a threat. "Clever move, human, but don't think this changes anything. We'll see who's really prepared to help these worlds, and who's just full of pretty words." As the conclave progressed, Alina found herself navigating an increasingly complex political landscape. Earth's rise to prominence had upset centuries-old power dynamics, and not everyone was happy about it. One particularly tense moment came during discussions about technology sharing. The Quilari, still skeptical of humanity's rapid advancement, accused Earth of withholding crucial innovations. "We have shared everything of relevance," Alina argued, frustration creeping into her voice. The Quilari representative's tentacles writhed in agitation. "Then explain how your species went from primitive chemical rockets to quantum drives in less than a century. Surely you must have had outside assistance." The implication was clear. They were accusing Earth of stealing technology. The chamber fell silent, all eyes on Alina. She felt a moment of panic, knowing her response could make or break humanity's standing in the galactic community. Then she laughed. The sound echoed through the chamber, causing confused murmurs among the assembled aliens. "Outside assistance," Alina said, shaking her head. "The only assistance we had was our own imagination. You see, humans have this strange quirk. We spend an inordinate amount of time dreaming up fantastic technologies in our fiction, things that shouldn't be possible. Then we set about trying to make them real." She gestured to Akira, who activated a holographic display. Images flashed by, old Earth movies and TV shows depicting faster-than-light travel, teleportation, and a myriad of other technologies that were now commonplace. "Star Trek, 1966, Alina narrated. "Communicators that inspired our first cell phones. 2001, A Space Odyssey, 1968, which dreamed up AI and tablet computers decades before we could build them. We humans have been imagining the future for centuries, and then challenging ourselves to create it." The chamber was rapt, aliens of all species leaning in to watch the display of human creativity. Alina continued, her voice filled with passion. "We didn't steal these ideas. We dreamed them. Then we worked tirelessly to make them real. That's the outside assistance we had, our own boundless imagination and determination." As the images faded, there was a moment of silence. Then, to Alina's surprise, the Quilari representative's tentacles changed color, a sign of embarrassment in their species. "We may have misjudged you, humans. Your method of advancement is uniquely inspiring." The tension in the room dissipated, replaced by a buzz of excited conversation. Species that had been skeptical of humanity now approached Alina with questions about Earth's culture and creative processes. As the conclave drew to a close, Alina felt a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration. They had navigated the treacherous waters of galactic politics, not through force or manipulation, but through creativity, adaptability, and a willingness to challenge conventional thinking. The arch-cognitor approached as the representatives began to depart. "Ambassador Rodriguez, you have given this old being much to ponder. Humanity's approach to problem-solving and advancement is refreshingly chaotic. I believe the galaxy will be a more interesting place with Earth taking the central role." Alina smiled, thinking of all the challenges and adventures that lay ahead. "Thank you, arch-cognitor. We're just getting started. The galaxy had better buckle up. Things are about to get a whole lot more interesting." As she and Akira boarded their ship for the journey home, Alina couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. Humanity had faced diplomatic chaos and emerged not just unscathed, but victorious. They had shown the galaxy that sometimes the craziest ideas were the ones that worked best. The stars stretched into streaks of light as they entered quantum space, and Alina knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, humanity was ready to face them, with creativity, determination, and just a touch of that uniquely human brand of controlled chaos. The final frontier. 5 years had passed since the Great Conclave, and humanity's position in the galactic community had only grown stronger. Earth had become a hub of innovation, with aliens from across the cosmos flocking to learn the human knack for thinking outside the box. But as humanity reached further into the stars, they were about to face their greatest challenge yet. Admiral Elena Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the ESS Odyssey, Earth's most advanced exploration vessel. Beside her, Dr. Akira Tanaka monitored a holographic display of swirling cosmic energies. "We're approaching the edge of known space," Akira announced, excitement evident in his voice. "Whatever's causing these energy readings, we'll be the first to see it." Elena nodded, a mix of anticipation and apprehension coursing through her. This mission, dubbed Operation Cosmic Horizon, was humanity's most ambitious yet, a journey beyond the charted galaxy into the true final frontier. As the Odyssey dropped out of quantum space, the view screen lit up with a sight that took everyone's breath away. Before them swirled a massive vortex of energy, colors shifting in patterns that defy description. "My God," Elena whispered. "What is it?" Before Akira could respond, the ship's systems went haywire. Alarms blared as an unknown force seized control of the Odyssey, pulling them inexorably towards the cosmic maelstrom. "All hands, brace for impact," Elena shouted, gripping her command chair as the ship plunged into the swirling energies. For a moment that felt like eternity, reality itself seemed to bend and twist around them. When it finally stabilized, the crew found themselves in a realm unlike anything they had ever seen. Impossible geometries stretched in every direction, and the very laws of physics seemed to be mere suggestions. A voice, if it could be called that, resonated not through the air, but directly in their minds. "Interiors. Explorers. Humans." Elena stepped forward, her voice steady despite the otherworldly situation. "I am Admiral Elena Rodriguez of Earth. We come in peace, seeking knowledge and understanding." The voice seemed to consider this. Humans. Young. Chaotic. Unpredictable. UAAVENTORED, the domain of the cosmic architect. Eons. HVPASSEDs to NC Elast. INKONTORED life. Holographic images sprang to life around them, showing the history of the universe, the birth of stars, the formation of galaxies, and the rise and fall of countless civilizations. The cosmic architect, Akira breathed, awe and scientific curiosity overriding his fear, a being of pure energy and thought, capable of shaping reality itself. "Correct, Tiny One," the entity responded. "IHAVWATCHED, the cosmos grow, guided its evolution, but nenobo, entropy a puro HHEs. The end of all things durados in the air." The images shifted, showing stars going dark, galaxies collapsing, the very fabric of space-time unraveling. "But you, humans," the architect continued, "UAVSPARKED, my curiosity. Your chaotic nature, your ability to defy PREDICTIONS and OVE or SUM impossible ODDs. Perhaps you hold the KEUE to AVE or TANG, the final entropy." Elena's mind raced, trying to grasp the cosmic scale of what they were facing. How can we help? What can humanity possibly do in the face of the end of everything? "Atheist," the architect declared. "Solve the UNSOLVA bill. Create the UNCREATABLE. Prove that your chaotic nature can bring order to the cosmic entropy." Before them appeared a swirling mass of equations and cosmic principles, a problem on a scale beyond human comprehension. The fate of not just their galaxy, but all of reality, hung in the balance. Elena turned to her crew, seeing the mix of fear and determination on their faces. "Well, folks," she said with a grim smile, "looks like we've got another impossible problem to solve. You know what that means." Akira nodded, already pulling up holographic interfaces. Time to get creative. Human style. What followed was a marathon of innovation unlike anything the universe had ever seen. The crew of the Odyssey threw themselves into the challenge, combining scientific principles from 100 worlds with uniquely human intuition and out-of-the-box thinking. They drew inspiration from everything, from the intricate patterns of Earth's smallest life forms to the grand cosmic dances of colliding galaxies. They channeled the human spirit of exploration, the drive that had taken them from cave paintings to the stars in the blink of a cosmic eye. Days blended into weeks as they worked tirelessly, fueled by determination and more than a little coffee. They hit dead ends, circled back, and found new paths forward. Throughout it all, the cosmic architect watched, its ancient consciousness stirring with something it hadn't felt in eons: hope. Finally, as the last pieces fell into place, Alina stepped forward. "We're ready," she announced, her voice hoarse from countless hours of debate and brainstorming. The solution they presented was quintessentially human, a blend of hard science, creative leaps of logic, and what could only be described as cosmic audacity. They proposed a network of quantum-entangled singularities spread across the universe, working in harmony to channel and redistribute cosmic energy, staving off entropy itself. For a long moment, the architect was silent. Then, the realm around them began to shift and change. "Extraordinary," the cosmic being declared. "In all my eons, I never conceived chaos bringing order. Unpredictability creating stability. Uavd the impossible, humans." The holographic displays came to life once more, showing the implementation of their solution across the cosmos. Galaxies brightened, dead stars reignited, and the very fabric of reality seemed to strengthen. Uavgivn, the cosmos new life, new hope, the architect continued. The aegid of ENTRBPWA is POSTPONED, and a new era of cosmic evolution can begin. As the crew of the Odyssey celebrated, tears of joy and exhaustion streaming down their faces, Alina felt a swell of pride unlike anything she'd ever experienced. Humanity, the upstart species that had clawed its way to the stars, had just saved reality itself. "Return to your realm, humans," the architect said, its voice filled with newfound respect. "Your journey is far from over. The cosmos will be watching your progress with great interest." In a flash of cosmic energy, the Odyssey found itself back in normal space, at the edge of the Milky Way. As they set a course for Earth, Alina knew that everything had changed. Humanity had faced its greatest test and emerged victorious, proving that sometimes the most powerful force in the universe was the ability to think differently. As news of their cosmic encounter spread, the galaxy buzzed with excitement and awe. Humanity, once seen as unpredictable and chaotic, was now hailed as the saviors of reality itself. The age of human innovation had begun, and the universe would never be the same. Alina stood at the viewport, watching the stars streak by as they headed home. She thought of all they had accomplished, all the challenges they had overcome, and all the adventures that still lay ahead. "You know," she said to Akira, who stood beside her, "when I joined Starfleet, I never imagined we'd end up saving the entire universe." Akira chuckled. "Just another day at the office for humanity, right? I wonder what impossible problem we'll solve next." Alina grinned, her eyes fixed on the cosmic horizon. "Whatever it is, we'll face it the way we always do, with creativity, determination, and just a touch of that crazy human magic that makes the impossible possible." As the Odyssey soared through the stars, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of humanity and countless alien races, one thing was certain: The adventure was just beginning, and humanity, with its unique blend of chaos and innovation, was ready to lead the charge into a brighter, more fantastic future than anyone had ever dared to imagine. The universe had better buckle up. The humans were here to stay, and things were about to get in tears.